that where it's so interesting, and everything we're connecting through virtually. I believe that you have probably seen so many webinars as it's going on, so many sessions that you're probably have been attending. But today's session is on the impact of COVID-19, how to weatherproof your business. The whole idea is why do we pick how to weatherproof is because we just want to focus into a tactical solution approach, a strategic solution in how to solve and to how to weatherproof your current business. As we understand that today there's so many challenges that have been going on, so many difficulties for business owners, just to really preserve their business, to ensure there's a continuity in order for them to prolonging their business. So with that being said, as well, DDL Group HealthCare presenting you on the healthcare and beauty segment. So these two segments, it's a very interesting segment as where today healthcare business is booming. Shares prices of healthcare is surging, and meet to this pandemic that's taking place. On the other hand, on beauty market, that it's a global industry that worth 532 billion. And also potentially reaching up to 805 billion American dollars. Well, it's an industry that where it's growing at a very comfortable compounded annual growth rate of 7.14%. But however, being such a big industry, it's also an industry that where it has been traditionally running. So it's this pandemic a calling for all beauties entrepreneurs to decide whether a disruption to take place in this beauty segment. And I think it's very exciting to see how these two industries will be evolving to achieve a new level of breakthroughs subsequently after this. So the whole idea of this session, what we want to achieve is to hear from these two panelists to be sharing on the solutions, on the tactical strategy approaches, and also how to be weatherproofing business. Without further ado, I would now like to pass the baton to our panelists. With that being said, Dr. David Ling, could you introduce yourself?
Hi everybody. A warm good morning to you. Okay, I'm Dr. David Ling. I've been in the industry for 28 years, and my area of specialization is on aesthetic and cosmetic surgery. My business model is to look young, feel young, and stay young. Well, my other hobbies include serial authorships, doing investment, and entrepreneurship. You can have more details about our clinic info. You go to drdavidling.com, or you can have a library of our own aesthetic and wellness information by going to askbeautydoctor.com. Or you can also join our free-to-use e-commerce marketplace platform, cosvera.com. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Dr. David Ling. He has been running, his healthcare, aesthetic wellness centers, for the last, since 2000, so for the last 20 years. And of course, he has been a few in the arenas, for 3 decades. So basically, he's no stranger, to this industry. And of course, next is none other than, without further ado, why not? We would like to hear Datin Winnie Loo, the founders, and also the chief executive stylist from HealthCare Group, to introduce herself.
Hi everyone. For those who do not know me, I'm Winnie Loo, the founder of HealthCare. Well, for 41 years, I've been doing this business that actually crowns your glory. So I am sure many of you now misses us, and your hair needs a haircut, right? So basically, I am looking at it as this time of the COVID is something that I have never seen in my life. to be resting at home. Yeah, you can see I'm actually resting. I don't even bother to have a chair. I'm really on the couch, relaxing, because we are forced to do things very differently, and I am embracing change. So I like to encourage all of you here, hang on there, listen to us. We have some solutions which actually, in business, there's definitely a way out. So we have to stay strong. As we carry on with this whole conversation, I'd like to thank the Arthur and the DDL group to invite me for this chat. So for all of you, catch up later.
Thank you very much, for the introduction. So you've never experienced this before, so Datin Winnie, probably you're still young then. Is that so true that I mean, from all the articles that I've been reading, the last time that people experienced something like that was actually the Great World War II. And ever since then, our world has never come across, to now 2/3, of the global population, is now under lockdown, self-quarantine, and self-isolation. What a crazy time that we're living in. But today, ladies and gentlemen, it's Good Friday, so indeed it's an auspicious day for us to do something meaningful, either to your family members, your close ones, your partners, or anybody, the frontliners out there, who has been working tirelessly to really save the nation and trying to contain this pandemic. So we will be diving straight into our sections. Again, to all viewers on Facebook as well as on Zoom, do feel free to actually shoot any questions in between. We will try to be answering as many of your questions as possible in between of the session. And of course, our two panelists today, because it's Good Friday, they're very generous today. We'll be giving a giveaway. But however, to ensure that you're able to glue yourself on your seat, we will only unveil it right towards the end of this session. So with that, our two panelists look very ready right now. I love your natural lighting, Winnie. Yes, how have you guys been feeling? Anyway, I mean, it's April 10 today, also a significant day, for us to know whether would there be an extension. For all Zoom viewers, I'll be also launching a poll right now. Probably, could you just take a look, very, very shortly. You could see it, on your screen right now. And we just want you guys, to start voting. Do you believe that hair fix is essential during MCO? This is such an important question because right now, my hair, it's growing like bushes. Do you know, I really feel that hair fix or hairdo is such an essential service. And I really do hope, in the event, if there's really an extension, I really do hope, at least, they were able to let the hair salons to open, because everyone is just clinging, to their current hair. My hair is turning like a bush, so hence, that's why I need headphones, to be protecting it. We are seeing, participants, are participating. Our second question: do you need a facial treatment right now? And Dan as well. We just want to hear your response. And our last question: do you think the MCOs will be extended? And so far, we have 12 participants who have been participated. Hey, what happened to the other 20 over participants? We still want to get more response from you. So far, it's 100% believe that there will be an extension of MCO. Oh dear. So with that being said, if there's an extension of MCO, how do you feel about it? Dr. David and Datin Winnie.
Okay, about the extension of the MCO. Well, if you are looking at the experience in Wuhan, in Henan province in China, basically their lockdown is slightly more than 60 days, around 70 days. Why is this so? Because for one cycle of this epidemic is around 14 days. You need approximately 4 cycles for it, for you to cover the all the patients who are potential carriers. So that is why we estimate, according to the WHO recommendation, it should be around 60 days. So I will not be surprised if the government announced that there will be a further extension, because having come all the way, we are already halfway through, and if we will stop and release our MCO, then probably I felt that it will be a waste of the effort that we have already put in. So why not we should continue and to make sure that we are on the safe side and to cut off the possible carrier almost 100%. Thank you.
And yourself, Datin Winnie. I mean, how have you been feeling for the last 3 weeks? I mean, I know you're doing a lot of cooking. I know, you have been Iron Lady for the last 40 years, really taking on, from nothing, into a homegrown name. And I think, is this the time that where now you're savaging, all the time your business to the domestic affairs?
Yeah, but Arthur, this is something that personally, for a short while is fine. Being locked down and to do something different, I call it embracing change. Sometimes we all need to have quiet time. So I am definitely doing a lot of quiet time, improving myself. I didn't waste time, honestly. There was a lot of reading and I go back to a lot of swimming and perfecting my cooking skills. But then again, if we are talking about an extension, it's actually very worrisome for the overall economy. But for the larger, we call that the short-term pain and the long-term pain. I think, of course, if we embrace this short 30 days, 60 days, it's better to be once and for all cut off. But possibly if hair is supposed to be an essential, we will do our very best to have strategic solutions to do it, rather than just sit at home and wait for the hair to grow long, you see. So that is my thought, because MCO was sort of extend and delay, but I would really feel that if the authorities will approve certain things to be slowly opened back, because we are not entertainment, we are a need. We are not something that the majority of the people living, being who want to still have a fix, they should have a fix. So we will try to do whatever. If we are approved, we will have all our ways of making sure that our SOPs will be run perfectly on dot to ensure that we are in business again.
Indeed,
so for
indeed.
Now, for now, my biggest concern is to really flatten the curve. If we really cannot do it, so one of these days, don't be surprised, even a big group like me have to disappear from the scene, because we can't weather it anymore, because it's really very crucial time. We have a lot of staff to take care, we have to pay rent, the expenses keep running. So it's a very scary situation that we are in.
And I think that's something that, definitely nobody is hoping for, I mean, that you have built, customers in a very stickiness, especially beauty. And definitely we're all hoping, there won't be, any possibilities that will come to that. We have a very interesting, feedback, from Lee Kenneth on Zoom. My head is just looking like wearing a helmet right now without having any routine haircut since the start of the MCO. And I'm sure Lee Kenneth, I'm sure a lot of people can resonate to use with that. Even in fact, on the poll, which I'm ending right now, 47% believe that a hair fix is very essential and should be essentials during MCO and in the event if there's an extension. 35% says, I need a facial treatment right now and then. I believe it's definitely all females here. We have definitely more males as viewers today. And 100% believe that an extension is, of MCO. Thank you so much, to all the participants who have participated, in the poll. Now, let's really get, into business, right now. I mean, I think that's the whole idea, why we are here. Well, starting off as with understanding, understanding, the adoption. We're probably going to talk a bit about, a lot about the what for now. So what was that first thought that came across to your minds when the MCO was first announced on the 16th March? And particularly, you only have 1 day of preparation to really put businesses to halt, and all the way to uncertainty. What was that first thought came across your mind? Just very quickly, so just to share that, just to make sure that everyone's, just feels really, quite normal to that.
Yes, actually, flashback as to what happened with the MCO when it was first announced. I believe for a lot of the public, they don't think that this will be coming. For us in the medical professions, because it is an epidemic, it is highly contagious, and we know that this will be coming. It is just a matter of time. Even right from the beginning, I estimated that whatever that those countries in the European and US they were taking something like Kita Apa attitude, and I was very certain that they will end up with big disasters because they were not prepared. They thought that it will not be coming. I was really quite surprised what happened to the CDC in America and in Europe. So for me, for us in the medical profession, we see this coming. So it is not surprising at all for us. Thank you.
And yourself, Winnie?
Well, on our side, because you see, I am very close to China. I'm very connected. We already even create a lot of personal message and video to because I'm involved with the Asia Hairdressing Association as their advisor and president, honorary president. So there was a lot of concern already. So I am well aware, even as back in early January. But of course, at that point of time, the concern is we really do not know exactly how this whole virus will travel. Well, we do not know that, okay, Malaysia is going to eventually be very, like a serious matter, or the world become a serious matter, because at the point of time, I think Wuhan controlled it so well, right? If you look at it, I thought that they were able to close and lock down their whole Wuhan, and even every other cities and province of China was really very seriously controlling it. And well, I would say thanks to globalization, people keep traveling, and then suddenly things were brought back to this country. We started to be concerned. Even in our salon, we were very, my staff started to wear masks, and then there was a lot of messages, even from some experienced medical people, even from WHO, who says, oh, when you are not sick, you don't wear masks. So suddenly this whole scenario of wearing masks, some fear, some don't. So we feel that we are always very close to clients doing it. So at the same time, those who worry have been wearing masks. Those who feel that they are well, they didn't wear masks. So we wish a lot of people were well aware, not just in Malaysia, in the world, listening, that at all time, because you do not know whoever that you are attending to or that you are in close contact with are the person not feeling right, because especially when this whole thing do not show you even while they are even having the virus. So I have practiced social distancing, especially I have not I started not to shake hand even as early back in maybe end January.
Wow.
People think I was good. People think I was good. I didn't shake hand because the more I read, because I mix with friends who are having children who are doctors. So I started that way of social distancing by not allowing hugs. Yeah, and shaking hand even as early as end Jan to maybe early February, more towards early February. So they think that I'm a freak. Why I worry? But I said it's not about worry. It's really about, I don't know where you have been. I am very certain I've not been traveling because I put a lot of my trips on hold or even cancel them. So, but the friends who are continuously traveling, even up to end February or even early March, there's some people still traveling. So that was my concern. I protect myself because I'm already very exposed to my job, but I really feel it's very important. I do not want to pass anything to my loved ones.
Well, definitely for someone like yourself, Datin Winnie, who is globally well-traveled and have connection, personal networks, with people, across globally, individuals like this usually really take precautionary measurements. And if everybody really practiced that, from the start, I believe that probably even the pandemics were able to be contained much better than what it is. Talking about precautionary management, let's just really dive in as talking about what are the management decision. I mean, as yourself, Datin Winnie is a big group. You have so many outlets, and all brick and mortar. Probably not too much on digitalization, which we'll be touching on that subject later. What is the decisions of the management and the stakeholders of your group? Are there any precautionary management that you have taken prior to this lockdown?
Before this lockdown, we already have sanitizer placed in our salon. We encourage the clients even to sanitize their hand before they step in. Then it was not serious then, not so serious, I mean. But all this while, one thing good about my shop, we have always been practicing wearing gloves to wash clients' hair. I think we triggered the fear since the 8th days. So we have been wearing surgical gloves to wash clients' hair from the longest ever. And a lot of the things that we've been using, we do not save them back, like capes when we do a color. So it's every time the client, it's one cape for one client. So in a sense that we dispose of it. And one thing good about in my salon, we have always hire a few tea ladies who will clean up the area where the client sat on long before all this kind of virus that is in existence. So we have practiced this all along of hygiene in our shop, because if anyone step into a cut above, you will definitely don't see hair. You think that we don't have business, but it's not. We have this very good habit that you don't really see hair on the floor unless the stylist is still cutting. So it's been a very good practice that we have been practicing that for the longest ever. Of course, if you are asking me about what will we be doing when we actually have a chance to reopen back after the MCO, we already have so much thoughts about, of course, checking temperature, filling up forms for the customer where they have been and their really contacts, so that if anything, we are able to trace them back. We have plans to even, clients will have alternate chairs. One thing good about some of my shops, they're really big. The clients will not get a chance to sit next to each other. And one stylist, of course, for one client. So we have many, many ideas and thoughts, even if we are back into business.
Definitely, will be more rigid, and of course, will be more stringent.
The measurements. I would like to also say, if you don't have an appointment, so it's going to be really difficult to get into the salon for weeks to come, because I think we are going to practice strictly appointment. And we want to know who you are already, because we have to be strict about it, because it's no point for us to be in business and then we get locked down again the next 2 weeks.
Yes, that's right. To all Datin Winnie's customers and or a cut above regular customers, I think it's time, for everyone, or even I think to public, it's time for no walk-ins, no walk-ins, And I think maybe this is where maybe digitalization is very important, really, to do bookings via digital platform. But we will be touching on that subject right in a bit. But yourself, Dr. David, what are the precautionary measurements that you have taken prior to this lockdown? Especially when it comes to wellness and aesthetic, right? There's so much, it's so difficult, for social distancing to take place, and right, because it's so much of physical contact, with your customer. So what are the kind of precautionary measurements that you and the management have taken?
Okay, just before talking about the management, I will touch on the precaution first. In terms of precautions, we took steps like staying in cash reserve positions so that you can weather through for the next 2 to 3 months. And well, anybody worried to get contracted with the coronavirus infection, because if you get it and if you have a comorbid problems, the chances of mortality is very high. So nobody want to be contracted. So because of that, we stop seeing customers. Even we are postponing non-essential surgeries. So these are some of the precautions. Another one is that well, it is not easy to negotiate for rental deduction, but I believe businesses can always share. Maybe some more compassionate landlord, they may give you small amount of deduction. And then in terms of staff, well, if you are having a big staff, then that could be the issue. If your number of staff is small, then that may not be a very big issue. Well, the crucial management that we took is that we basically stopped seeing all the patients, all the customers, postponing all the non-essential aesthetic procedures, surgery, and try to preserve cash. And then, well, another thing is this is the, in terms of keeping especially in terms of keeping stock, you try not to keep the stock for a long term. That means you try to draw down your stock reserve so that you don't have to hold too much of stock and having a short of cash. These are the main precautions and crucial.
Dr. David, sorry a second, I got to butt in a second. So you're mentioning about really, I mean, we all know that, you know, keeping reserve 3 to 6 months. Do you mean that, you know, you have already prep up in advance for your business 3 months as prior to this lockdown? Or is that your normal practice then for your business?
Well, because I'm an investor, I invest quite heavily in property. So actually, just before this, we anticipate that. For me, I always keep business in reserve cash because I have been going through multiple up and downs, recession in the 2008, recession in the 1997s. So it is only wise that at all time you have sufficient cash to last you at least several months. So that has been our you know so-called to stay prudent. Thank you.
Certainly. You know, when Dr. David,
you are so good. Time for me to borrow some money from you.
Peer-to-peer, I think peer-to-peer. I think this businesses will be also pumping up. So, you know, it's interesting what Dr. David says, is like that cash is king, you know. I mean, cash is king as a term was pretty infamous like exactly a year and a half ago. But right now, everyone is just talking, so, you know, cash is king. It's just so important right now to really have cash because that's what everybody is focusing on. Well, we will talk about cash flows management parts later on. But I think what's more important is now we want to go into the how. We'll be talking about innovation and also potentially collaboration will be a strategic tactic, so, you know, approach for you to actually be withstanding the business and to be weatherproofing your business. Yes, so back to you, Datin Winnie. Would there be any changes to the business model and meet to this outbreak from now on?
Well, actually, in our business, we have always been embracing change. Even before all this lockdown, we were trying to do things differently already. But definitely after the MCO, we are definitely including online like clients who can't come to the salon to pick up products. We're definitely going digital. We're going to go online in our products. And yes, whoever clients are hearing, we're definitely going to embrace that change to even send products online to clients already, because I think that is so important now that the world have to transform, and we are already looking at that. Perhaps another area is because I'm also in education, definitely discussing with my academy side that we need to include e-education even into our scheme to allow the students, like you see right now, they didn't go to class for 4 weeks. And if there's a change, if there is another extension, suddenly it's like they're not going to class for the next 3 more weeks again or 4 more weeks, they can get complacent. So after this, we really have to really pump up and change our model concepts to embrace the change. And we're definitely looking at those things somehow before, but now I think we'll be really rushing into doing the next step.
And what's been going on? And what's been going on with the education? I believe that that probably every month or every quarterly, I'm not quite sure about that, there will be sign up of new students. Have that been affected as well?
Oh yes, we were supposed to have. You see, April is a very big batch of students, which is one of the biggest batch of students in our education, because especially after their results, they know what to decide and they really want to step into a new career, or let's say wanted to start something. Somehow April is a very big batch and we are so badly affected. So I really hope in case if we open back in May, there won't, with the economy downturn, I don't know, maybe parents suddenly say, okay, don't do it. So we are very concerned about that this is going to also affect our student entrance, Yeah, because April, May is really a very, very good month.
So that's where you personally believe that it will be a very good feed for e-education to take place. As what we are seeing right now in schools. Schools are closed. And in fact, yesterday I read even there are 15 states in America, the schools will be closed throughout the rest of the year, which means all primary school students, secondary school students are forced to be staying home and to be adopting e-learning. And I think, it's such an exciting time we're seeing, for education to take place. It's just a matter of time that you are seeing also in terms of hair service, there will be more players will be going to e-education. Am I right?
For hair, I can't say a lot, but I'm sure the international brand have already been doing so. You see, a lot of my staff are not sitting home doing nothing. We have arranged even a lot of classes for them to join. We even have brands like L'Oreal come forward, even creating a special class for a cut above, because they know that our group is big. So instead of the educators, their educators not doing anything, they are also at the same time working to improve, to make sure that their educators are also in line with their work, because they cannot work, so they are still working. So basically, my team, especially those who are keen to still study, are definitely still learning.
What about currently right now? Any on-demand service for hair services? Going to people's house, any possibility? There, in the event if there's an extension.
Going to people's house, you mean house call?
Yes, house calls, yes, on-demand service.
I'm not too sure. We really, we don't want to expose any staff to anything yet, because we can always arrange. There's no such thing as nothing is impossible, because on demand, you see, all this while, I have another business that's on demand, together with a makeover. Somehow we don't kick off well is because the demand is not there. So maybe after this, the on demand become a reality.
Yeah, that's right.
Anything can change. Anything can change. You see, on demand, we started it. I started with a few of my partners, but on demand didn't kick off because the people say, if I can be conveniently pampered in the salon, why do I want someone to come to my house? So the on demand did not really work. You see, Malaysians basically are very pampered with wash and blow, someone touch it, someone can wash their hair, that kind of thing. So if they have to wash their hair and wait for the stylist to come in, it didn't really work out very well in Malaysia.
People prefer the salon facilities to
Yes.
be surrounded with the salon
And also
environment,
maybe
right? The
it's a
comfort.
certain fear, right? So you think of it, a lot of people say, why do I want someone to come to my house unless I know them? So these things perhaps one day will have to also, things will change because of people need to transformation and embracing changes.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, moving forward, I believe there will be more people that will probably be staying home. And that's where on-demand services could be applicable, especially when it comes to beauty services. What about on the healthcare aesthetic part, as Dr. David? Would there be any change in business model? Because it's like your business model is so human connected, and it's impossible to even talk about on-demand because you can't bring those big machineries to people's house then.
Well, in terms of the business model, well, definitely you will see a big change from going from offline to online. Adoption e-commerce platform will be, I think, going forward will be a big following. If you can see that in this China recently, big companies like Alibaba, like Tencent, like Baidu, they all go setting out this so-called tele-consultation, telemedicines, and tele-prescription, as well as the transport of this medicine right to the doorstep of the consumer. So you see roughly around 400 to 500% growth in just because this business model is so new. It started just I think 3-4 months ago, and it has gone up by 400, 500%. This is really dramatic, and you have seen that. I believe what will follow in South Asia or Malaysia itself. I think going forward, this will be the new business model.
Okay. We will talk more about digitalization right in a bit, embracing change, because this is a very exciting part, and the whole idea why we're all gathering here, because to understand more about innovation. But in the meantime, let's just take questions from the floor, and we have our Zoom viewers. Kenneth Lee, a very proactive viewer, thank you so much. What is your advice to salon owner and beauty center if the MCO is extended? I believe not all owners have a strong financial holding power to sustain the business through this COVID storm, in view that the support from the government might not be sufficient. To any one of you. I think it's quite a common question, right, that has been asked, but probably yes, from a perspective of overall businesses, especially, not all are big players in the beauty and the healthcare. There's only a handful of them.
I think a lot of salon will go into quite a serious issue this round if it's going to extend, because some of them, like you said, if it's a very small player, it's fine. So they possibly only have one staff, right? They will still be okay. But it's only those who have the in-between. Small in a way that they may still have about 8-9 staff, have 2 shops, that kind of thing. So those kind of stylists may get into, if let's say if they do not have deep pockets, that is cushion to last for the next 6 months, because this, even if the MCO is going to be open, business will not be swing off just like what it used to be. People will have certain fear, or there may be people who will not want to lavish so much. Just now, like when I was looking at the poll there, 50% of the people say it's not necessary to have a hair fix, So priorities are also different. So there will be clients, depending on what kind of area they are in and what kind of clientele they are dealing with. They definitely will be a certain set of clients, whatever MCO or whatever financial will not affect them. Their hair are so important. So, but there will be some people, the working class, or certain people who put hair aside that is less important. So some girls may decide, oh, okay, let's have long hair. Maybe some guys may embrace a change, maybe try a longer style instead of cutting the hair every 2-3 weeks. So all things can change in this scenario. So yeah, and also to add on, there was, I saw a question earlier that how do we allow, I mean, that means are we going to stop the client from talking so much? I think in this scenario, we will definitely encourage the client, if they don't have a mask to come into the shop, please don't come in for a haircut. we really want the client, hopefully they are masked up too, because we definitely want to mask up. But we want to encourage whoever wants to go into a hair salon at this kind of a season to mask up at the same time. Yeah, in case, because I missed a question, I saw some questions, someone who asked me.
Yes, yeah, from Dr. Nick. Yeah, from Dr. Nick, yeah. Indeed, I think even, in fact, so with this post-pandemic, I sincerely believe that it was just going to change the ways that we live, we play, we work. Everybody's will start wearing masks, will really take precautionary measurements to get to a whole new level. That's a very interesting insight. And Dr. David, healthcare and aesthetic is a very capital intensive business, and cash reserve, as you said, is very important. And right now, let alone as a cash flow, for a business. As far as I'm concerned, I know that a lot of businesses in healthcare also take huge amount of loan in order for sustain the business, because machineries are really not cheap, in this sector. So what is the advice to all, probably the new players or the existing ones, as a not too big group, in the event if the MCO is extended?
Yes, Arthur. People in this industry, most are small enterprises. So that means the strain on the centers, on the owners, on the entrepreneurs, on their cash position will be quite heavy. As you can see, every single laser machine can only do one job because of the specific wavelength. So you need a range of a machine, and each machine will cost you a few $100,000, easily $250,000 to $500,000. So this will not be easy. So as the SME that belongs to this sector, the best will be, I believe, going forward is in terms of sharing of resources, both in terms of the such as the use of machinery, sharing of marketing costs, and then well, because the industry is so cash intensive, the other platform will be to that means just like DDL what is doing now, we are actually doing business expansion. We invite the investor to join us, so you consolidate these cash positions so that these resources can be utilized in that 24 hours fully by multiple centers throughout Malaysia who can co-share the machinery. So in this way, definitely it will lower the cost of the business. You will lower the cost of the treatment for the customers. In that way, you can change the business model by going from capital intensive to a model that is sustainable. And I don't have to emphasize too much that staying cash reserve is the ultimate game for those who want to stay and survive long in this business. Thank you, Arthur.
Very interesting. You are talking about economy sharing. Economy sharing, as a business, since we have seen the success of Uber, Airbnb, and Spotify, and the list goes on. We have not quite seen that in the beauty and the healthcare, aesthetic business yet. I mean, I'm a true believer in economy sharing. In fact, at one point in time, I was even pitching the idea to launch the very first co-working space, as a beauty co-working space, and so enables everybody to come together, because right now it's all about community, right? Business is about community. So, what is your take on that? Like economy sharing for beauty, uniting all beauty and wellnesspreneurs coming together, so everyone's cost is being reduced, but everybody get to enjoy the community of livelihood. To any one of you.
Arthur, to answer that, maybe it's about time. My next business should be grouping up a lot of hair salons who may go, who may not be able to sustain, to group them up and start something different, like you say, co-sharing or collaboration, I think is the word.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think that that's really a very vital business model to look into.
Players might as well be one big family.
Yeah, because there's no point having more brick and mortar salons out there, right? you know, while you know that what's going to be the survivorship. And in the end, is like having more salons is just going to create is like the higher competition, intense competitions, and in the end, people will start playing price war. You know, price people will start challenging each other. But if everybody comes together as a community with the right core values, the right mindset, the right intention, I think it's that it will really going to bring good to the sector. You know, and a cut above, I mean, considering that, you know, Datin Winnie yourself, that you have so many outlets, probably able to transform one sections, you know, to a co-sharing space.
So maybe this COVID has a reason that, like we say, a reason for it to happen.
Yeah. You know, we are seeing, I mean, I'm sure you definitely know, we all know this, as I mean, for those as who are not quite in the beauty and the healthcare segment, in New York, 90% of the hairstylists are actually on demand, as well as also they book what they call, they reserve seats. So they don't own salons, but what they do is, you know, they are more of a freelancers, they are independent as a stylists. So they go around salons around Manhattan, around New York, and then all they do is just reserve as a seats. I think that's something that where we could see that change from New York to Europe. I know Japan also is evolving over to Asia right now. And probably with digitalization. Is that something that, you know, you also foresee that to take place as well, Dr. David? Or is that going to be a business model that you're going to probably adopt?
Yes, Arthur, I see that going forward, that will be the trend. And exactly because of that, DDL Group actually is setting up to consolidate this industry. We want to be the pioneer and a leader in this area. So we will be inviting a lot of doctors to join us so that we can become a partners and collaborator in the same industry. Well, people in the industry always think that everyone to be the boss, so they operate their own center. Well, that's fine. Even if they join us as the joint venture partner, we can still allow them to have a majority. And then we will give them the freedom to operate their business. And then we can even help them to finance the operations in the business operation. So how do we do that? I think for those who are really interested, we can give them a detailed session on that. So the idea is to lower the cost of business operations, to consolidate cash positions, to expand fast, to bring this entire small SME sector together. And we look into expansion in terms of aesthetic clinic change. We are looking into expansion in terms of pharmacy change, or anything related to healthcare, or perhaps even omni-channel marketing on grocery. Things related to healthcare, I believe we are looking into that. The industry is moving in that direction. There's no doubt, and you can see that statistics.
I think his connection was lagging.
Statistics already proven that all these are profitable, especially when I'm talking about omni-channel marketing. This is something very new, and it has been taken off. The industry growth is something like a few 100%. So what is happening in China, they are almost the leader in this area. And I believe that will change in coming to the trend will come to South Asia, come to Singapore, Hong Kong, and finally Malaysia as well. So entrepreneurs like us, we are looking into solving problems for the business, for the consumer. So this is the direction that we should take up. That is the new challenge, and I believe a lot of investors are joining us. Having talked to many friends, they are all very positive. They say somebody should lead the industry, because if nobody leading, then well, they are all loose pack by themselves. They are difficult to consolidate. So going forward, that will be the trend. Thank you, Arthur.
Thank you so much, Dr. David. We are talking to two trendsetters, movers and shakers, in the beauty and the wellness sector over here. We're talking about economy sharing. I think it's really overdue as a business model's adoption, because we have already seen the successes of many industries, from grocery, from logistics, hotel, and you know, many more. And you know, in fact, like you know, even Publica, the other day I came across is opening up as the very first is like co-sharings, you know, for bakery. You know, gathering all bakers as are coming together. Now, economy sharing part is, you know, I think it's a new innovation and new collaboration for this. Economy sharing requires a lot about digitalization at the same time, because it's where you are going to be a marketplace and bringing, you know, all the enthusiasts with right core values, intentions, you know, and also spirits that are coming together. So let's talk about digitalization right now, because we're talking about embracing innovation changes. Putting, you know, whether economy sharing is going to be adopted or not, what is the digitalization models, you know, that you're going to adopt in your business in a very big way for a business? Okay, like say for example for hair, we know that now products can be purchased by online education. What about services? I mean, you can't get a robot to be cutting your hair, right? I mean, you can't get software, you know, who is fed, you know, with very, very intelligently a lot of data, artificial intelligence data, but you can't get a robot to be cutting. What is your foresight, you know, of seeing digitalization to be disrupting the beauty market?
Well, if you're talking about a robot cutting hair, I think people will still love the human touch. To be honest, nothing like you know, having a personal hairstylist who knows your interests and talk to you like a friend, you know, because whatever it is, robot is still a robot. We need that personal touch of a hairdresser. So hairdressers out there, they will not actually lose their job because of digitalization. And yeah, maybe a robot washing hair may work out one day, because especially when more and more people are not really stepping into this trade, and yeah, they should create some robot one day to help to wash hair. That might work. But if let's say robot cutting hair, this is my very biggest concern, because I really do not want the world to transform to that extent where I think EQ is really what we need for a long time, unless there's less and less people wanting to be in this trade. So digitalization is good for especially online booking. Now, you see, even in our group, a lot of people will make their appointment via many things. They don't just call. Once upon a time, they just call. So now they WhatsApp, they possibly email, they do anything but not calling the salon to make a phone call for an appointment globally, because we will have clients who say, oh, I'm going to fly in from US, I'm going to fly in from London. We used to have all these kind of things already, which connections of such has actually helped us to reach out. And then with so many extra form of publicity, so it's actually very good. So we can even create a lot of instant awareness. If we did something, we can actually, the whole world knows, you know, so which is fantastic. Last time we will have to wait for a newspaper to interview us in order to get the news out. So now we can do a show even in somewhere, and the next thing is the whole world is watching. So I definitely embrace change, but not to the extent of accepting a robot to take over our job. So this is really something that I will not want the world to change to the extent, because I think hairdressers are still hairdressers with touch and with compassion. So we love the idea of clients wanting us to cut hair and not replacing us by a robot.
So much care, so much compassion, you know, from a hairdresser. Probably we have heard from the expert. Why not that we get as the viewers? We have our 50 viewers, you know, on Zoom, as the numbers, you know, just pick up. To those who just joining us, thank you so much for joining us. As I do stay, you know, until the end of this session at 12:30. We'll be wrapping up in half an hour, because our two panelists will be having a giveaway for those who stay back, you know, until the end of the session. And this giveaway is very generous. By the way, I just want to ask let's just get really feedback, you know, from our Facebook viewers as well as our Zoom viewers. would you want a robot to cut your hair? Will you be okay with that? All you need to do is just type yes or no, and let's hear, you know, whether is a change going to embrace to the extent of that. Let's just hear, you know, from the crowd to all, you know, our Zoom participants. All you need to do is just type yes or no. Are you okay, so, you know, to have a robot, so, to be cutting your hair? We've been fed a lot of artificial intelligence. Okay, Datuk Luray said no.
Yeah.
Okay, no way, no way. Okay, a lot have said no. So, you know, so yeah, definitely hairdressers. So, you know,
Yeah,
are definitely
that's
still
good. We
intact.
are still wanted.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really makes like a Datin Winnie day. Indeed, I really think that no matter how highly technological, you know, advanced we are, you know, I think hairdresser is one of the industry that where human touch is still very important. As what Datin Winnie said, the love and compassion from a hairdresser to really bring it on, you know, the style, you know, of the person. Yeah, Dr. Nick, they say, haha, why not? They say they are beautiful and handsome creatures. Yeah, William says that robot cut hairs. Dr. David will have a lot of business fixing ears and scans. Dr. David, over to you. So, you know, we're still talking about economy sharing, and indeed, DDL Group is going to be one of the pioneer first mover advantage to be bringing everyone, wellness, aesthetic enthusiasts, like coming together. I foresee there will be a center or an establishment to be established, and hence, like, you know, it will really going to help a lot of people out there in terms of still doing what they're good in, still being an expert in their own field, but probably by reducing, you know, their capital. So how do you foresee economy sharing and digitalization coming together? Because they are both, as you know, were able to marry well together.
Well, digitalization has been going on for quite some time already.
Yes.
So there's no issue about that. And you have seen that businesses who already moved into digitalization, they become
maybe Dr. David, maybe can you share what are the kind of digitalization model have already been adopted in the wellness aesthetic business, apart from the machineries?
Okay, as you can see, for the last 3 months, if this is any indication, I believe it will be true for Malaysia. You have seen that Baidu, Tencent, Alibaba, they set out this teleconsultation because of the COVID-19 disease. So a lot of these customers or potential patients, they do not want to go to hospital or clinic because they're afraid that they can might be contracting this disease. Who knows? The doctor can become a carrier. You see. So because of that, they prefer to ask questions over the internet. So online consultation becomes the fashion because of these reasons, and because of this coronavirus invasion. Because of this epidemic, it has pushed this industry into the online adoption at a much faster rate than expected. So you see, as I earlier said, this teleconsultation has picked up something like 400% growth over the past 2-3 months. So this is really tremendous. And I think anybody will know that this will be the new wave coming on. Not only that, you can see that tele-prescription, people are talking about tele-prescription. And if this is adopted, then you will expect a logistic company helping out to ship, to transport this medicine prescribed to the customer right to the doorstep within half an hour. So this, the so-called digitalization is real, and you can see that already happening in the market. So I think there's no reason Malaysia market will not be similar as what is happening in elsewhere. So yes, Arthur, this is about the digitalization in terms of healthcare, in terms of wellness, or in terms of aesthetic.
Yeah, but there are no players right now in Malaysia. There are no players in Malaysia on online and tele-prescription?
Absolutely, in Malaysia, there's no player in this. Because even in China, their online business is far more developed.
Yeah.
And there are giants like Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu. These are really online giants. And they only just start off this business last couple of months. And they have seen a tremendous growth.
Yeah, yeah. So in the event, if I mean, on economy sharing, so, you know, how do you going to puzzle up together, you know, between digitalization and economy sharing? I mean, you can just briefly just share to the participants, because it's a very exciting model.
Yes, Ada, this is going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
Talking about sharing economy, or the growing into an economy of scales, a sizable business, only then you can talk about economy of scale. Having economy of scale means you can bring the cost of a business down. That will push out your profit margin. So how to do this? Because in SME sector, a lot of these business owners, they want to be the boss. So because of this reason, it has been difficult. So I have to come up with a system in such a way that they can still be the boss in their center. How we can collaborate with them, how we can joint venture with them. We can always negotiate a win-win deal with them. Let them be the boss. Let them be part of our bigger pictures, so that this can become a conglomerate operating under the same brand and umbrella, so that the marketing can reach to, that means the whole organization who are under this will share the same marketing cost. Obviously, because of that, people have much greater trust in your brand, and not only that, the cost of operation will be much lower. So you will go, I can see that Arthur, this will go into wellness industries, healthcare industries. We are talking about clinic change. We are talking about pharmacy change. We are talking about grocery chain. We are talking about postnatal care. Or we are talking about physiotherapy centers, or dialysis center, or could be things like retirement centers. Because my friends from other countries, they have approached me personally. They say, we have the cash. You set up a business. We come in with the cash to invest in your company, and we see great value, great business potential in Malaysia. Well, the mere Malaysian brand also carry a very heavy significance. It fared very well in South Asia, other than Singapore. We also fare very well in the Middle East, in the Muslim countries. Yes, thank you, Arthur.
Very interesting. Thank you so much, Dr. David. I have to second is what Dr. David said when it comes to beauty as well as healthcare, aesthetic industry. It's one of a sector that where everybody joins this industry to become a business owner on their own, to become an entrepreneur on their own. So after working, for a center and establishments for a decade, so they always eventually will go by themselves. And somehow it'll, a lot of the entrepreneurs always believe that, oh, that's an act of betrayal. But I think with economy sharing model, which has already been adopted in overseas, will really, it's really a calling, for this to be adopted as in Malaysia, and to put as a profit margin aside, but truly focus into the value of services and also the intentions to give to the customers. And at the end of the day, everybody's were able to enjoy the same amount of facilities. So I think something I look forward to. I mean, we are talking about robot. Let's just say for services as a healthcare, aesthetic. Probably maybe Dr. David, do you see robot to be taking over for wellness and healthcare? Any possibility?
Yes, Arthur. Yeah, certain procedures that cannot be taken over by robots. There are certain procedures that can be taken over by robots. As you have seen that there are a lot of surgeries that could be taken over by robots. And actually, many surgeries are already taken over by robots. You can see currently many hospitals are doing robotic surgery.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. And, but these robotic surgery are currently on site. And with the arrival of the 5G, which speed out the messages transmission, that means a doctor in New York can operate a patient in a Malaysian theater, which is not surprising. Because with that 5G messaging going around, the speed is so fast that whatever his hand are moving in the New York hospital will be transmitted right to the Malaysian hospital here, and the robot will assist in that surgery. So
meaning there will be an imitation. So while there's a robot in New York, so while there's a doctor in New York doing the surgery, and then it's like the robot in Malaysia will be imitating, will be following the steps.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they will follow the step on his
Wow.
hand movement. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dr. David, that's coming from you. Let's just hear what the 50 people on Zoom and also on Facebook viewers would like to say. Would you mind having a robot to be doing a surgeries on you? Let's just hear from our Malaysians. What about that? Come on to all our Zoom viewers. Do you mind having a robot to be doing a surgery on your face? But will be assisted directly by doctors, from overseas. Yeah, no worries. It is a 5G technology. Dr. Luray,
Yes.
you're really very trending here.
Yes, Arthur.
Yeah.
Actually, this surgery is not new anymore, and we know that it is pretty safe. So, what I would say is that when the doctor there is operating in the New York hospital there, that message is transmitted to Malaysian hospital theater here.
Yeah.
Actually, there is another on-site doctor there assisting.
Okay, so it's a human, and also that's not so scary there, because you're talking about full-fledged robot. So there, I'm not quite sure about that. I probably a second to what Yi Features say. Features say no, scary. No, I don't think so. I can leave a robot to do just managing my face there. Okay, so we talk about digitalization. Let's really dive in right now. How exactly are you going to weatherproof your business from now on? I mean, from whatever that we have talked about just now, how are you going to weatherproof your business? Give me 3 solutions of technical solutions, how you're going to weatherproof your business to ensure there's a business continuity. Datin Winnie, would you like to begin first? Consider how many outlets do you have now with the academy?
We have 14.
14, yeah, 14. Yeah. So it's such a big group, 14, all brick and mortar. Woo.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be really not easy. Maybe it worst come to the worst, accept the reality, downsize, maybe give up 1 or 2 that is not so lucrative. There will be a way. There's definitely a way to put things right, and it's never going to be embarrassment to even But we were very, very fortunate that last year we just decided to downsize some of our huge salons.
That's true.
So that was easy. I may have some people saying, why do you want to downsize? Why this, why that? But I think sometimes we somehow feel the economy overall is not so fantastic. Actually, if entrepreneurs out there, I'm sure they really noticed since the onset of 2000 and maybe 18, it has not been a bit of roses. It was already getting a little bit challenging. So we saw the pattern. So we decided that, yes, it's not shy at all to downsize. In fact, 2 of my flagship salon to be a little bit smaller. So at least it helps in a way. So I think in order to be able to stay strong in this current situation, is we just have to be like what Dr. David said, is always my favorite quote: cash is king. So always be able to know when to invest, when to exit, and when to sell, what to sell, so don't overindulge when the sea is very rough. So it's possibly now good for some people, pros and cons. There will be some entrepreneurs out there that say, okay, it's a perfect time to buy. Let's say if you are investor in anything, it's actually a good time to buy up people. Even like stocks, some of the stocks, blue chip stocks are so cheap, right? So same like business, it's also a time for investors to really look at what is good to buy in. So you may not make a lot of money from my hair side, but I may make money from other area. So never put investment in one basket, because I think if all eggs are in one basket, you actually can go into a serious problem when it comes to the economy. So you must have enough of things from other area to cushion back. That's the way I look at it. Is so maybe if things, even if you have to sell certain things to uphold the business, I think we just have to think of ways and means, or maybe remortgage some properties to the bank, and just be able to overcome the whole scenario.
You should be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. And now is the best time to really look for great opportunities.
Yeah, because
So
every crisis creates opportunity, right? So
certainly.
it's actually a fantastic opportunity for people who have enough of resources to actually speak to those people who are weak. You know, even I have someone who suggested, to help me, to ask me for some contact on someone who is really, really crying socially. And I said, yeah, because I silently say, yeah, actually it's a fantastic business. Maybe have to bail them during such time. So maybe it's a fantastic way of looking at some business models.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now it's like, I mean, if you're an opportunist, now is the best time to really look into business or investment opportunities. So, you know, from Datin Winnie's, you know, her words of wisdom is to downsize if there's a need, you know, to do so. Cash is king, so ensuring that cash flow management is intact and solid, and very importantly, diversification, just apart from business, but also to start looking into great investment opportunities as well. What about yourself, Dr. David? You know, I know you are an avid properties investor. Cash seems to be your forte, so hence you're constantly able to invest in cash. So, you know, what are the how are you withstanding your business? Give us 3 solutions. Yeah.
Yes, Arthur. If those are the strategies, then I will consider, well, no matter how rich you are, cash will never be enough.
Yeah.
So I'm looking on pulling of this cash, pulling these resources, these precious cash resources. So from the group, at pull ups resources, we are looking at least 100 million to begin with. That will be sufficient to push us into the next level.
Sorry, what is this? What is this, Dr. David? What is this 100 million, you know, about? Probably could you share more a little bit? Could you enlighten us a bit more?
Yes, basically, we are doing this capital raising for business expansions. And because you can see that it has never been a better time for you to expand in a healthcare business or wellness business. So I'm leading the industries by consolidating this cash so that it can be shared out within the entire group. We can bring in smaller SME together into this group, such as pharmacies, clinic change, retirement homes, or dialysis centers, or postnatal care, all related healthcare and wellness businesses, so that you can have a common marketing platform. So with this, achieve economy of scales, and we adopt the online commerce, e-commerce, the online, we call online marketing, the online business platform. These 3 major strategies should be able to push the group to greater height. Thank you, Arthur.
Okay, so you know, so that's an exciting plan coming up for you. There will be a big group establishment. DDL Group will be initiating, you know, a lot being a pioneer and also championing, you know, a few models to be the market leaders, you know, first mover advantage, you know, for the market itself. Now, we are getting some comments on Zoom. Literally, let me run through very quickly, so that we can acknowledge everybody. You know, Kenneth Lee says, I don't mind the surgery by robot, provided the Malaysian 5G network is on par with the international standard. I'm enjoying on average 2 megas, you know, per second of 4G right now. Sweat. Yeah, that's so true. I wouldn't mention what networks I've been using, but literally, yes, I can feel you, Kenneth. We also have Jason Chu saying Datin Winnie looks so amazing, haha. Compared to us 4 weeks no haircut. She always look amazing, isn't so? Even at home, Mr. Look so amazing. She was finding the best spot for natural lighting. We do have a question from Thomas Lee, you know, on Zoom. So I'll probably just read out, you know, to our both panelists. How do you charge your fees for online consultation or advice? Is that something that we have to pay before inquire? What's going to be the current model? I think this is something that, you know, we have talked about also, right? Datin Winnie. You know, that a lot of people always bug you, you know, for coffee. Maybe it's time for you to charge maybe online consultation, sitting from home and able to do consultation.
Yeah, I think uh, Arthur, I lost you just now because I think didn't you?
Oh, how do you charge your fees for online consultation or advice? Pay before, so, you know, inquiry?
Well, so far I have been so kind. I think I've never charged. There's so many people who inquire so many things, whether
Yeah.
it's from IT or from Facebook. I think I have a lot of people asking what should I do to my hair. So I have not charged. So maybe it's about time to do that. Digitally, I think I have to have a fee. You know, I'm not sharing, right? No lah. I don't think I want to be that way because most of the people who happen to ask happens to, you know, to have some, yeah, we are friends, so
My
I
friends.
don't yeah, I don't want to entertain everyone by asking how do I want to, you know, how what advice do I want to give to them for their hair. Yeah,
So to
unless,
everyone, make sure that you're in good shoes as of Datin Winnie. When you're in good shoes,
yeah,
then you are
if they
able
are
to
good
give.
shoes, don't need to pay.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. If you're in bad shoes, then she'll
Oh,
start charging.
3D shoe, huh?
It's your 3D shoe tech. Well, what about yourself, Dr. David? I mean, time is very precious for you. Time is scarce for you. I believe there's a lot of online consultation, especially when it comes to healthcare aesthetic wellness, right? There's so much consultation needed. So it's that going to be a model that where, I mean, for us to be entering into the world of online and tele prescriptions or also consultation as well. Is that, you know, one of the models that you're going to possibly charge?
Hi, Arthur. In terms of consultation, as far as I know, I think mostly people don't charge. So consultation, normally, unless you go into very, very detailed and very elaborate consultation, I think most of the consultation, I believe, are more general. So normally the platform don't charge. If you go into a tele-prescription, that obviously they will charge. So consultation is more like initial phase of interactions, giving them the confidence and giving them the information that they need, and to know exactly if it is really could be just simple flu. But mind you that consultation, if it comes to important, more serious illnesses like possible cancers or serious infections, obviously, after the initial phase of online consultation, they need to come over to the hospital or medical centers, clinics to do further follow-up, because only at the center we are able to examine them. So consultation is just a history taking. It is just preliminary. So, so a full diagnosis cannot be just based on consultation.
So there will never be any charges because it's going to be prerequisite for the real service to take place. Yeah. Okay. We are just 9 minutes away, you know, from wrapping up. As a winner blink of an eye, you know, we almost come towards the end. I'll now, you know, want to open up any questions to the floor to all our Zoom viewers, as well those who are still watching, you know, on Facebook. Thank you so much for staying with us, you know, until this time. We promise that we will be shouting out, you know, the giveaway. But I do have one more question, you know, to be asking our panelists on the floor before we. While we are waiting for more questions to be coming up from our participants, let's talk about the government support. So we're talking about the SME stimulus packages, which was already being announced, you know, and of course a lot of macro SMEs, you know, are still not very pleased. But however, stimulus package it cannot be a one size fits all, right? So you cannot satisfy everybody eventually. Now, Datin Winnie yourself, you definitely have more than 200 employees. So, you know, how do you see, you know, this initiative by the government, and how are you going to put it as a, you know, forefront as, you know, to your company?
Well, sometimes, like I would say, like a beggar have no choice, right? So of course the first two package was completely no,
Yes.
you know, because I think, you see, when SMEs actually contributed to such a big group of people, employers in the market, and we employ a lot of people that gives jobs to, you know, to the market. So can you imagine if a lot of SMEs eventually winds up? So a lot of unemployment is going to be in the, in the marketplace. So my biggest concern then when I was hearing the first two stimulus package, I was really in a way disappointed, even though I know that they're taking care of the the B40 and the people who are earning less. I mean, it's important to take care of them, but at the same time, if the employers cannot afford it, this whole thing, this whole global thing, I mean, this whole economic thing will collapse. But now that the recent package are a little bit more helpful, but then again, still with a little bit of condition, we are looking into how to fine tune it before we can actually get back to really on the road back again. It's not going to be easy, but we will be able to iron things off. Since the government at least says that we can negotiate with the employee, that sounds a little bit more comforting, because there's no way that they don't pay our staff, but the government is trying to tell us we cannot retrench them, we must pay them, we must this, we must that. It's like suddenly we hire staff, but we have no say. So right now, we're at least a little bit more thankful that we can still be an employer and have the right to discuss with the team. So this is what we are doing.
Thank you. And yourself, Dr. David?
Quite stack, Arthur. Sorry.
So basically, that with the whole stimulus package, of SME which was being announced by the government. So what is your view? What's your take on that? How big is your group right now? I mean, will you be?
Okay, in terms of this government stimulus packages, what we call on the 27th of March, announced this package pre-hearting that is worth around 250 billion. And then again on the 5th of April, they announced another so-called SME special stimulus package that is worth 10 billion. So a lot of these, especially for the SME, will be used to alleviate the sectors, assist them, the sector to tide over this difficult period of from March probably until May perhaps. So I believe a lot of the SME will get some relief from these packages, that's obviously. But for my business, we don't have that serious issue. So for now, we are pretty safe. So that's why we are at the expansion mode. Thank you, Arthur.
All right. Okay. So we're soon going to wrap this up. So I think it's time for us to be announcing our giveaway. Now the giveaways are very simple. So, for all our Zoom participants as well as Facebook viewers who are still watching. All you need to do is to comment in the chat for Zoom as well as on Facebook. Just comment in my comment box on my page and sharing that how do you weatherproof your business, your strategies of weatherproofing your business. Share with us, and in the end, our panelists will be determining who are the winners. There will be 4 winners who will be walking away with our giveaways worth 600. From a cut above, there will be 3 treatments that worth 600 ringgit, as well as then there will be also 1 laser rejuvenation from Dr. David himself, worth 600 ringgit. So in total, there's 1,200 ringgit lasers to be walking away. So all you need to do is just mention to us, how do you weatherproof your business? What is the strategy you're using, adopting, to be weatherproofing your business in order to have continuity. So, do share, in our comment box, and then our panelists will be running through, your answers, and in the end, we'll be informing you, directly. And of course, to all our Facebook viewers, who are watching, just leave, your strategies, in a comment box, and then, we'll have Datin Winnie and also Dr. David, will be viewing, those answers, and we'll be informing you, personally. We'll be emailing you. As well as Facebook, we will be DM you, exclusively. So yes, right now, I think while waiting for everyone to be sharing, their strategy answers. Yes, for those who join us, remember just leave your answers in the comment box, in the chat box, so we're able to view them. So yes, we almost come towards the end of it. Probably maybe would you like to be sharing? Are there any advices? Any advices? For the existing, younger entrepreneurs right out there, or probably new entrepreneurs, in the market, for them to really go through this crisis, and also any advices, for them to weatherproof their business, so they can all emerge together to be stronger, after this crisis.
Okay, Arthur. I would give, let's say, some advice to those people who are just starting out, going through this sort of challenging times, and especially when you do not know how long this is going to last. To stay strong, to really be a little bit more. I think somehow young entrepreneurs may never learn to be thrifty. It's time to really tighten your belt, so never spend unnecessary if you want to survive this whole thing, So you have to just learn to be more prudent at all times. And of course, don't surrender so easily. If this is just one of the challenge that you are experiencing since you're so young. I have experienced 4 times. But of course, when I experienced a crisis, it was minus virus. So at least I was still able to still go back to work. But right now, for this, I think use this quiet time to improve yourself, because if your business is just only starting out, I'm sure your expenses may not be high yet. So work on it, maybe, even if to the extent you have to really borrow money from your parents, don't be shy about that, because I think you will get out of this, because it's just a time to really enforce, really, make yourself go stronger, because all challenges are here to make us stay stronger, bolder. Don't forget, fortune always favors the bold. And the more bolder you are to get out of this, you will be able to rise higher and better as an entrepreneur one day. And for those who are already in business for a while, stay strong. There's always a rainbow after every storm. I'm going through it. I'm sure many of you are feeling the same as I am. But if you can actually go through this, the next round you can need to do is be a little bit more, safe. I think it's so important to have enough saving, because like we said earlier, cash is king, so never overspend unnecessary. So learn to be a little bit more thrifty when the good times comes back. And I wish everyone who is watching here all the very best. Bad times don't last, tough people last. So yes, tough people last. So stay strong, stay safe, and yes, we'll see you one day soon. Yeah, to celebrate and talk about how we went through, and yeah, it's gonna be another time of our life to celebrate again.
That's right. That's right. Tough times don't last. Tough people do, and we are all tough people, in this generation, in this era. We will conquer this together. We will. And yourself, as Dr. David, we have one question on these, from Jeffrey. Either one of you, Dr. David or Datin Winnie, just to really pick up the last question: how will mega trend of health, wellness, AI, new technologies affect the different generation trend?
Maybe let David.
Yeah, David.
Dr. David?
Yeah, as I say, well, this IT industry is very important to support this healthcare and wellness industry, aesthetic industries. So there can be no doubt about that. So this online and artificial intelligence as well will be of great assistance in cutting down the business costs, overall business costs in the industry. So yes, going forward, I see there will be a great emphasis and putting a great importance in the use of IT, in going online, and in adopting of the artificial intelligence. Thank you, everybody, for attending to the organizers, panelists, and the participants. Thank you all.
Yeah. Any advice, Dr. David, to entrepreneurs out there? Especially maybe talk about maybe the healthcare, and also the aesthetic business. Any advice for them to weatherproof the business? We are still getting a lot of answers right now. For those who are still staying with us, we still wanted to have a look at your answers on how do you weatherproof your business. So in order for you to stand a chance to walk away with our prizes and giveaway from Datin Winnie and also Dr. David himself. Yes, Dr. David, over to you.
Yes, Arthur. Yeah, how to weatherproof our business and how to weatherproof this
advice.
Yes, especially for the existing business owner and for the newcomer. Well, it is that you can still own your business, and if in case you would like to join us, yeah, we can also help you to lower the cost. You can still be the boss of your organizations, of your centers. Yes, so all this is a way forward in order to weather these business difficulties. You need to think, you need to go along with the business trend. So with the assistance of use the technology like IT, like AI, and in terms of this consolidation of capitals, so that it can lower the business cost, increase business margins to help you compete in the open market. All this is that business owners must be on the alert, must be on the lookout for the new strategies in order for them to tide over in the crisis. Not only that, also help them to grow in the future, far into the horizon. Thank you, Arthur.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. David. We have come, to the end of it. But right before, when I bid farewells, to everybody, for those who are really keen to explore, further, on the opportunities. In fact, now it is actually the best times, for us to be looking, into opportunities, into healthcare. Now, healthcare, to this breakdown right now, healthcare, wellness stocks are the only ones surging. Even from the vice presidents, of United States, I'm saying that, there's no other better time to be looking, into the healthcare and wellness opportunities, as we're seeing all stock prices are surging right over here in double digit. And there's no time, they're seeing that, the stocks are climbing back to all-time highs. The chart suggests, even like stocks, opportunities to be looking into. So across globally, most of the share prices are actually growing in double digit, amid, to this outbreak. So for those, who have any inquiries or any queries, to find out more, about any opportunity, do feel free, that you see that, or also business partnership as well, or also services, do feel free, to drop us, an email, as the email is being shown as, flash on the screen. And with that, we have already received, adequate number of answers. So yes, we thank Irene Chan, Andrew Loy, Yi Vichol, KP Lu Ray, and as well as on my I will check this on my Facebook. Yes, to see the answers. Thank you so much for your participation. And with that, on behalf of the group, DDL Group, our panelists, Datin Winnie, Dr. David, and the entire team of Engineers House, we thank you, for joining us. Your participation is greatly appreciated. Hopefully, you gain valuable insights, from our two movers and shakers, in this business field. I think today I've also gained valuable insights, and I hope the same for you as well. So till then, it's a Friday, and we're looking forward to another announcement from our beloved Prime Minister today. We do hope some positive news to light us up. So with that, participant, thank you so much for joining us. and we say goodbye to you. Thank you, and
Thank you,
enjoy
Arthur.
Thank you all.
and